Okay, Thaddeus Stevens has been dealt with. We move on to the highlighted item, the Kalamazoo decision of 1874. Yes, it happened in Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo is located in Michigan. Those of you who are Gibson guitar uh, aficionados will probably realize that Kalamazoo, Michigan was the home of Gibson guitars before they moved to Nashville. In 1872, Kalamazoo decided that it was going to build a new high school. Moreover, they wanted the new high school to be financed and supported by taxes. Charles Stewart and some of his friends and neighbors said, no, we ain't going to pay. The issue went to court where Stewart lost. They appealed it, turned over, went all the way up to the Michigan Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court rules against Stewart. So the idea, and I think I alluded to this before, is it fair to tax one person for another person's child? The Michigan Supreme Court ruled, yes, it is. Charles and others have to pay as well. That law stood from 1872 until about 1971, 71, 73, about 99 years. And it now is one of those hot button things that again has come up and is in question. The taxpayer revolt is in full bloom. Establishment and maintenance increase in the high school was very slow until the 1850s. In the 1850s, the high schools passed the academies as the most dominant form of secondary schooling. They were governed by an elected group of local citizens. This is in opposition to the Academy's Board of Trustees, which was appointed by the owner of the Academy. Massachusetts and New York were the early leaders with respect to state-supported systems. Massachusetts and New York. Start off with New York. New York's contribution at this moment in time is small, but let's start there. Gideon Hawley, whose name I do not believe you will ever see again, was the first to be given the title of State Commissioner of Education. I only bring this up because commissioner is a word that is with us today. We have state commissioners of education. We had for a while a national commissioner of education. The word commissioner comes from New York. Massachusetts creates a common school system, and it also creates a state board of education to control the common school system. Horace Mann, we mentioned him earlier, becomes the first secretary to the State Board of Education. In time, that title of secretary is going to be changed to commissioner to be consistent with New York and some of the other states at that time. But for right now, Horace Mann, the leader of the State Board of Education, goes by the title of secretary. And in that job, Horace Mann and the board tie common schools to normal schools. Haven't talked much about normal schools yet. They're the first attempts at teacher education, first official attempts at teacher education. In his position as secretary to the State Board of Education, Horace Mann stayed 12 years, and each year he issued an annual report which was to give direction to the schools. Those are available. You can read them. They cover many things at this time considered to be trite or old hat, yeah, we have that. But remember, when man said we need to have physical education, he was one of the first people in the country saying that. Moving on, the relationship of the high school to the elementary school. It was supposed to build on rather than run parallel to. Remember back when we had the uh, dame schools, the grammar schools, the colleges and universities, uh, no admission requirements from one to the other, no articulation, I guess was the word that we just used. So we begin the process of articulation here. The elementary school is supposed to prepare people for the high school. So the high school, conversely, was to build upon rather than run parallel to the elementary school. Elementary school foundation, secondary school complements and extends. Completion of elementary school supplants an entrance exam, no entrance exam to get into high school any longer. Relationship of the high school to the college or university revolves around two issues. One is the high school curriculum. What are they teaching in the high schools? And secondly, what does the college want in way of entrance requirements? And those two issues, actually one issue, not really solved until the next subperiod or next week or whenever you happen to open the next set of slides. Those are the 1880 to 1920 years. And what happens at that time? Colleges broaden their requirements, no longer Latin, Greek, and mathematics only, and high schools standardize their offerings. You take a course in chemistry here, it's probably the same as the course in chemistry taken somewhere else.